everyone, welcome back to Redirecting. I'm going to further extend on the topic I was just talking about, but this time I'm going to be speaking on the hocus pocus that has been done on the black mind, the male and the female. Right now, there seems to be no light at the end of the tunnel with black relationships. Okay, and I'm not just talking about marriage, boyfriend and girlfriend, and all of that. I'm also talking about relationships with our children, our families, the whole shebang, all of it. Excuse me, y'all. There seems to be no light at the end of the tunnel because things appear to be going from bad to worse. But it kind of lends to the fact that there is only going to be a remnant of us that are going to actually get it. There's only going to be a remnant of us that will actually rise up out of it. Okay. What we're going to witness is a further decline in the relationship between black men, women, children, families, communities, all of that. Because there's a missing element that we all don't want to agree on, right? And that missing element, I'm going to call spirituality in this video. Because many of us have many different beliefs and mindsets and things that we believe, things that we don't believe. And we don't understand how spirituality plays a very important role in our position in this world, right? When I look at the wicked and how they operate, now when I'm speaking of wicked now, because I know that there are some wicked black folk, okay, I get that, okay. So maybe I shouldn't say when I look at the wicked. I'm going to say when I look at those, the scripture tells you that the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked, right? Okay. That doesn't exclude black wickedness. What I'm saying is when you look at those who are running things, when you look at those who are in charge of things and those who sprang from them, meaning all of these other races of people that have been whited out, when you look at all of these groups of people that are non-indigenous, non-black people, they all have some type of understanding of how they need to function within their group, right? But we are the only people who lack that understanding of how to function within our group on any level that is going to be beneficial to all of us. Now, I'm not saying that everyone will ever be perfect at any one time, but as a whole, dark indigenous people have this problem or this issue with one another to where we can't even trust one another. And without that trust, and I'm not saying to blindly give trust. Trust has to be earned. It is not something that is given. We have created an environment among ourselves to where trust hasn't been earned. Trust is one of those things that is few and far between because it has to be earned and many are not earning it. A lot of our people, not all, but a lot of our people have earned distrust. Okay, they have earned the distrust of others. They've earned the labeling of I can't trust you. Even if it's on a small scale, it doesn't matter. Small, medium, large, they have earned that. And so when you lose that as a people, it's kind of difficult to forge ahead with any type of real plan. And I'm going to start at the top when I talk about this distrust. Let me use someone like Oprah as an example. There's been a lot of talk lately on how Oprah kind of sold out certain black men, but she has this group of white men that have done some very, very criminal things. But yeah, you see pictures, old pictures of her kissing them on the cheek and, you know, stuff like that, buddying up with them and arm in arm with them as if they are best of friends, right? But black men who have done less or equal to what some of these white men have done, she has thrown them under the bus. And so when you have someone with the wealth that Oprah has, who has an allegiance to this group that doesn't look like her, but she turns on this group that does look like her, that speaks volumes to these other groups of people. They're like, they're rich and powerful and mighty. Turn on them. And despite what we do, Doesn't matter what we do, we will always have her support. That speaks volumes of our inability to trust one another. Now, when you bring that down to a lower degree, on a lower scale, within our own communities, within our own neighborhoods and families, and you have someone who will betray you for something very small and minute, someone who will throw you under the bus over something very small. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about from the lowest to the highest, the least to the greatest. We have established ourselves as a people who cannot trust one another. And when you come right up the middle, let's talk about the middle. Working class Black people, okay? And they have decent jobs. I'm not talking about someone who is working at a restaurant, in which I have nothing bad to say about that, because a lot of times people look down on people who work at restaurants when they talk about their flipping burgers and passing out fries or flipping fries. I used to work at a restaurant, and that is a stepping stone. So never look down on a person who has a job working at a restaurant, okay? They are working, right? But what I want to talk about is that middle line, people who work and they would be considered middle class or very close to middle class. They're not really struggling, but they're not really, really middle class. So I kind of think that there is a lower middle class and an upper middle class, right? But what if you fall under that category and you're working in a job like that in an atmosphere where it's a mixed population and you have two Black people that are there in the same office? You have one who is just kind of to themselves, handling their business, doing their job. And then you have this other one over here who doesn't like you, that's handling your business and doing your job, but looks just like you, right? And they buddy up to those who don't look like them, right? Whether they're Asian, Caucasian, it doesn't matter. Anybody else but you, right? And you have this so-called Black person who will smile in your face, perhaps. From time to time, they will be a little friendly to you. Then they get starchy, and then you don't know what bag they're coming out of from one day to the next. This day they're friendly. This day they have their rear end on their shoulder. Okay. But then you're like confused by them. So all of a sudden you hear from the grapevine or through being called into the office or something like that, that this person who looks just like you has gone to these people and lied on you or said something to them to get you in trouble. And you're trying to figure this out. You're like, hey, I'm doing my job. What is your problem? Why are you running to them to try to uproot me from my position? Are you trying to be the HNIC? Some of y'all know what that means. Head Negro, right? You want to be the head. You don't like it being two of y'all there. You want to be the one. You want to be the sole piece of pepper there. Or even if it's others of you that are in there, but you feel like this one right here is a threat because some of them like this one because they have a good attitude, but you don't like that. So you got to stir the pot or trouble the waters for this one. So you want to get them out so that you can be in that number one spot. That's what I'm talking about. We have established ourselves as a people who cannot be trusted. And when you do this sort of thing, you got to understand that there has been hocus pocus done on our minds. Divide and conquer. We have got to divide these people. We cannot allow them to unify. And once we create that atmosphere, that narrative will play out all by itself. We won't have to do anything anymore. All we have to do is sit on the sidelines and be who we are and watch them fight for position to please us. Watch them fight each other to impress us. This is what I see happening with our people, and that is called hocus pocus. For those of you who don't know what hocus pocus is, it's sorcery. It's witchcraft. And it is something that has been going on for so long that we don't even recognize it for what it is. We think it's normal for us to hate one another. We think it's normal to hate someone who looks just like you. We think that there is pleasure in the eyes of other people. They're not really pleased at you. The Candace Owens of the world and the Jesse Petersons right now you have groups of them that like them, but when it's all said and done, they think that you are just ignorant. I'm going to make a word up for you. They think that you're just ignorant. How could you believe the things that you are saying about your own people after looking at what we've done to you? But we thank you, though. We applaud you, Jesse and Candace and all others. And it doesn't just have to be those who are considered sellouts, but it can even be those who pretend to be in the game with their people, or those who pretend to be awakened or enlightened. But they have this division, this hatred towards their own for whatever reason. Even those who say, you know what? I love and support the Black community, but I'm not going to marry nobody Black. I'm going to marry somebody who looks just like them. So we have issues all around because of hocus pocus, sorcery, witchcraft. And it's touched so many levels of our lives, so many levels of our existence, to where it's going to take divine intervention to dig us out of this pit. We are eating the way we are instructed to eat. Not all of us. I know many of us have come away from their diet, right? But the masses have not. We eat what we're told. We drink what we're told. We watch what we're told to watch. Listen to what we're told to listen to. Do what we're told to do. Think what we're told to think. And we've gotten comfortable with that position. We don't want to think out of the box. The box is what we've been taught. This is what we were given. They gave us a box and they said, this is what you want to deal with right here. Only what's in this box. What we tell you to think, eat, drink, believe. This is what you deal with. But we don't want to think outside of that box. We're so comfortable with the contents of that box to where someone tries to present to you some new information. You literally fight, kicking and screaming, to shove that information away. As a people, we are thoroughly confused because we don't realize that hocus pocus has been done on our minds. We allow the next generation to go from bad to worse. You have young people who are adapting to a mindset, and parents are sitting on the sidelines watching this stuff happen, watching it all play out like a slow motion movie. We are just sitting here and watching, and our children are falling deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into this pit of Western society. We don't see it as a pit. We see it as improvement. And I'm not talking about the infrastructure. I'm talking about all of the other stuff that we've gotten used to. Everything that they've given us to occupy our minds, the movies, the music, the television shows, the internet. All of these things that we feel like we can't live without. These things have dominated our minds to the point where we don't even understand or see that we are falling deeper and deeper into a pit. And that if we don't get ourselves up out of this pit before it is too late, we will be lost forever. There is a place that we are supposed to be getting back to. And that is a place that we don't want to be in. We don't want to be in that place of total submission to the Most High Yah, but we want to be in total submission to our own desires. And that's where many of us dwell, totally submitted and committed to our own desires. There's a way that seems right unto man, but the end thereof are the ways of death and destruction. And as long as we adhere to that which is not right, our communities, our people, our children, our families, our situation will not improve. It will go from bad to worse, and we will continue to wonder and wander in Wonderland, trying to figure out, how do we get off of this path? I'm trying to help you to redirect, family. This is a path that we all need to take. We all need to redirect. We have all been deceived at some point. We have all been cast stumbling blocks in front of us. For many of us, there have been ditches dug. But if you were able to get around those hurdles and jump over those ditches, and you are still here, it's time to redirect. And it's time to even understand what redirecting means. This mindset that we have been stuck in for so very long has got to change. There is a dependency that we have on people who can't stand us. There is a dependency that we have on anybody outside of us, even if it's on your own family. When you become dependent on anything or anyone outside of you that is not there to help you. Now, I will say this. We are to lean and trust and depend on the Most High Yah. I know some of you don't believe that, but you'll have a hard time convincing me otherwise, because I know where I was. I know how low my life was, and I know what the Most High has done for me. And despite what anyone may believe, some of you think that you are the Most High. You've declared that you are your own Most High, right? I'm going to tell you right now, family, we can no longer afford to sit on the sidelines. We can no longer afford to think that problems are going to solve themselves and that situations are going to improve without any effort on our parts. That is not the case. First, we've got to understand that there is an active hocus pocus witchcraft sorcery against us. Active meaning it is not dormant. It has not stopped. It has not slowed down. It is active. It is in full force. First, recognize that and understand that, and you will get where I am coming from when I say you better understand this and get yourself in the right mindset, in the right frame of mind to deal with this. Dealing with this doesn't mean conforming to it or giving up to it. I want to help you to understand how to deal with this hocus pocus, and this sorcery that is over the minds of our people. Because the directions that we are going in, separating from ourselves, dividing our families, thinking that if we mix and mingle with others, that if we abandon each other, black man, black woman, abandoning each other, going over to the other side. If you think that's the solution, you are part of the problem. And you will not make it out of this. I guarantee you that. Okay, family. I am going to continue with more thought-provoking videos such as this because I want you all to understand this is not a game, family. So many think that this is a game. When you begin to really understand and your eyes really come open to the fact this is not a game, it just might scare you. But I don't want you to fear. I want you to fortify, strengthen that which remains. Anything that's good and acceptable that remains in your minds or in your thoughts, fortify, strengthen your spirituality, okay? And chip away at your carnality until it is completely gone. Okay, family, I think I am finished for now. With that, I will say shalom. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.